Let's say it's a rainy day. There's nothing to do and you find yourself hopelessly bored. On days like these, the perfect remedy is something comforting and fun. In this case, what could be better than a little Mario Paint? Since Mario Paint is one of my favorite games for days like these, I wanted to give a little overview of the game for those who might be unfamiliar. Let's get started. Mario Paint is a 1992 SNES game from Nintendo and Intelligent Systems. Coming bundled with the SNES mouse and mousepad, which I might add is the only control method for this title, Mario Paint seems to be offering up a PC-esque experience. When you first see Mario Paint, you might draw some comparisons to basic PC Paint applications like the enduring Microsoft Paint. But Mario Paint might surprise you with the depth hidden beneath its admittedly simplistic appearance. Being a Nintendo title, it's absolutely brimming with personality, much more so than the typically boring and sterile interfaces used for PC art tools. From the moment you boot up the game, you're greeted with what appears to be Mario running around a blank screen, with of course the title text. Sure, you can start the game right off the bat by clicking on Mario, but why do that when you can look a bit further? Why not try clicking on each of the letters in Mario Paint, for example? It's silly, yes, but a lot of fun. Once the player is finished on the title screen, they're welcome to try out all of the game's available modes. Through navigating through the menus on the bottom from the default Paint mode, they can also access an animation mode, a music composition mode, and of course, the Fly Swatter minigame. We'll get to those in a bit though. First, we need to take a good long look at the game's incredibly robust Paint mode. If you used a basic PC Paint program, you have a good idea of what Mario Paint's Paint mode can do. However, there's quite a bit more to find here if you go digging into the options and menus. The player has the typical pens, each of varying thickness, an eraser, a spray paint tool, a bucket fill tool, and the like. You'll also notice a color selection menu at the top portion of the screen, with the option to scroll through a variety of colors, textures, and sprite artwork derived from Super Mario World, the previous year's major main series Mario release. The player can also use colors and sprites as stamps, create their own custom stamps, and use a shape and line tool to help them easily create, well, shapes and lines. This might seem simplistic by today's standards, but the fact that this SNES game could surpass many PC-based paint applications of the time in terms of features is really impressive. With plenty of tools, incredible music by Hirokazu Tanaka, who famously was one of the composers for Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound, along with a cheery Mario theme, Paint mode easily inspires hours of creativity. So, let's jump into the other modes. First, we'll take a look at music composition, which, admittedly, I can do the least with personally. I know precious little about composition and music, but I can show the features here through sample songs offered to the player. Here the player can compose their own songs, using the sprites lined across the menu at the top of the screen as instruments. The player can also adjust tempo to speed up and slow down their song. As a composition tool in what is primarily a painting game, this mode seems to be quite versatile. Just take a look through videos of what musicians have been able to do with the Mario Paint Composer tool to get an idea of what can be achieved with it. Seriously, there's some incredible stuff being done with what might appear to be just an additional mode. Now we'll briefly explore the animation mode. By first selecting the amount of frames they would like their animation to have, the player can then use the variety of drawing tools and sprite stamps available to them to create their very own custom animations. It's even possible to trace a path for the custom animation to take, if you so desire. Finally, we have the infamous coffee break mode, better known as the Fly Swatter minigame. In this mode, the player will be using the SNES mouse to control a fly swatter and swat away a wide variety of bugs, many of which are dangerous. If the player is able to swat all of the bugs and defeat the boss of each round without losing all of their lives, they'll be able to progress to the next round. This minigame is one of my favorite parts of Mario Paint. It's great for testing your hand-eye coordination and makes excellent use of the SNES mouse accessory. This overview would be remiss not to mention the influence Mario Paint has had on future games in the Mario series. It found a set of direct successors in the fantastic Mario Artist series, with Mario Artist Paint Studio, Talent Studio, and Polygon Studio picking up where Mario Paint left off. These games are, unfortunately, not nearly as accessible as Mario Paint, being released for the ill-fated N64 disk drive. However, a certain spiritual successor to Mario Paint was met with extremely positive reception all around. That spiritual successor came to Mario fans in the form of Super Mario Maker for the Wii U. If you haven't played Mario Paint, it might be easy to miss some of the references and recurring elements, aside from a spirit of creation, that can be found in Super Mario Maker. Let's take a look at a few. This Mario Paint influence seems to be continued in the, at the time of this recording, upcoming title, Super Mario Maker 2. I can't wait to not only play the game, but see how it contributes to the continuing legacy of Mario Paint. A game that's bizarre, silly, and yes, a whole lot of fun. Perfect for a rainy day. Before we go, I want to thank my friend Sage for creating the amazing Mario artwork you can see in both the thumbnail and on screen now. You can find them on Twitter by following the link on screen and in the description. Thanks again, Sage. With that, I want to thank all of you for watching, and I will see you next time.